honeybees. We are going to pick up today with chapter 20 in Wishtree. After Samar left, I felt restless. Restlessness is not a useful quality in a tree. We move in tiny bits. Cell by cell, roots inching further, buds nudging into the sunlight. Or we move because someone transplants us to a new location. When you're a red oak, there's no point in feeling fidgety. Trees, as I said, are meant to listen, to observe, to endure. And yet, just once before I said goodbye to the world, what would it be like to be something other than passive, to be an actor in the stories unfolding around me? Maybe even to make things a little bit better. Bongo, I said softly, are you awake? I am now, she grumbled. I have a question. I'll get back to you first thing in the morning. How does friendship happen? Bongo responded by snoring. I could tell it was a fake snore. Her real snores are so loud they scare the baby possums. I'm serious, I said. Bongo groaned. I don't know. It just happens. But how does it happen? Friends have things in common, Bongo said. And there you go. Your answer in 5 words. See you in the AM, pal. I thought about her reply. But what do you and I really have in common when you get right down to it? With a loud exhale, Bongo flew to the ground. Okay, I'm thoroughly awake now, thank you very much. What's this all about? Just an idea. Here's an idea for you. Ideas are a bad idea, and Bongo, especially if someone is in busybody mode. I'm looking at you, Red. Back to my question. Why are we friends? Okay, fine. Let me think on it for a minute. Bongo walked in a slow circle around my trunk, considering. Love the way birds move, so unlike trees. We bend with the wind. We're graceful and unhurried. Birds, on the other hand, they move in fits and twitches. Their heads whip from side to side as if they've just heard astonishing news. Bongo paused. Well, to begin with, you're my home and I'm your tenant. But that's not really a reason for us to be friends. I've had residents I wasn't particularly fond of. That squirrel, what was his name? Squinch? The one with bad breath? It's not important. I knew it was Squinch. Bongo, I said, please focus. Bongo gazed up at me. We're friends because we're friends, Red. Isn't that enough? Her voice was small and sweet, not her usual get-to-the-point crow tone. You're right, I said. But suppose 2 people needed to be friends. How would you make that happen? Maybe get them together, doing something. They yak, they share, a laugh. Voila, friendship. Am I right? I don't like it when you mean leads to ideas. You can go back to sleep, Bongo. Thanks for talking. You're a good friend. Likewise, Bongo flew back up to her nest. Hey, be sure to let me sleep in. Bongo, now what? One more thing. What do you think people, or why do you think people can be so cruel to each other? It's not like the rest of us are exactly angels. Last night I saw Angie's eat a whole lizard in one bite. Angie's the barn owl who lived with her nestling in my highest hollow, flapped her wings in annoyance. Hey, a girl's got to eat. And you're a fine one to talk, Bongo, she said. Is there anything crows won't eat? My point, Bongo continued, is that the world's a tough place. Doesn't matter if you're a bunny or a lizard or a kid. With that, Bongo started snoring. For real this time. But I was still wide awake. Ma, what's that horrible noise? Came a startling voice of a baby possum. That's just Bongo sleeping, her mother replied. Bongo had been right. I was hatching an idea. She always said I was a busybody, not to mention an optimist. An optimistic button sky. Well, there were worse things. Trees are the strong, silent type, unless we're not. Chapter 21. Bongo, I said early that morning as the last stars faded like weary fireflies. There's something I need you to do. Does it involve potato chips? Bongo mumbled. No, Then I'd rather sleep in. It's about Samar. You promised you'd let me sleep in. I didn't promise. You implied. I want to grant Samar's wish. This roused Bongo. She fluttered down to her favorite branch, the one she nicknamed Home Plate. Bongo likes to watch the kids play softball at the elementary school. Red, you don't make wishes happen. You're the place where wishes go. You're like a leafy garbage can, in a good way. For 216 rings, I have sat on my roots and listened to people hope for things, and a lot of times those wishes never happened, I'm guessing. Bongo tucked a feather into place. Sometimes that's for the best. You remember the kindergartner who wanted a bulldozer? I'm passive. I just sit here watching the world. You're a tree, Red. That's kind of the job description. This is a good wish, and it's a wish I can make happen. I paused. Well, we can make happen. Yeah, I had a feeling that's where this was going. Bongo glided onto the ground. Look, I heard Samar's wish. How exactly are you going to find her friend? You'll see, I said, hoping I sounded more confident than I felt. Red, Bongo paced back and forth. With each step, her head bobbed forward. We've got more serious issues, pal. Francesca's talking about turning you into toothpicks, and your residents are frantic about where they're going to move if that happens. She came close and nudged me finally. Of course, they're worried about you, too. I know that. Fresh baked bread poked her head out from under the porch. It was barely dawn, and the only white stripe running the length of her face was clearly visible. I've offered to take in one of the tree families temporarily, she announced. Preferably the possums. They're better behaved than the ewes. That's very generous of you, Fresh, I said. But I was interrupted by Big Ewe, the mother of the 3 raccoon babies. She was in my large hollow, grumbling under her breath. I beg your pardon, she explained. You and you have excellent manners. They're too inquisitive, said Fresh Baked Bread, always poking their nose where they shouldn't be, grabbing things with those little paws of theirs. Well, at least they don't stink, Big U cried, and your children have paws last time I checked. Hairy Spiders, the mother possum, that's the mother possum's name, peeked out cautiously from her own hollow. Possums name themselves after things they fear. Stink is in the nose of the beholder, said Hairy Spiders. And while I personally think your children have a delightful odor, fresh, I already got dibs on the woodpile 2 doors down should anything happen to dear Red. She patted me. No offense, love, just thinking ahead, you know. No offense taken, I assured her. I saw that big pile first, Big U cried. Share the skunk den, Hairy Spiders said. I wouldn't be caught dead in that place, Big U exclaimed. Not now. Now I know my inquisitive children aren't wanted. Well, they are a bit boisterous, said Hairy Spiders. At least my children have spunk, said Big U. Your kids faint when they see their own shadow. Playing possum is a useful adaptation, said Hairy Spiders, her pink nose twitching. The world is a dangerous place, and in any case we can't control it. It just happens. I may interrupt, came a cool voice from the highest branch. It was Angie's. There's a nice-looking linden tree 2 blocks away, just vacated by a gray squirrel family. We're looking at it as a possibility, but there's a tomcat that runs loose there. Collar, no bell, so that's an issue. Also, a big slobbery dog. In fairness, all dogs are slobbery, Bongo observed. Really think you should all calm down, I interrupted. Let's not buy trouble. One day at a time, my friends. Who knows what tomorrow may bring? The mothers glared at me. I heard a great deal of sighing. Too much, wise old tree? I asked. Too much, wise old tree, Bongo confirmed, as everyone retreated into their homes in a huff. They're all a bit tense, Bongo said, worried about your situation. I can see that. I'm worried too, Bongo said in an almost whisper. I know, I said gently, but every cloud has a silver. Red, Bongo interrupted. Sorry. There must be something I can do, Bongo said. You're a good friend, Bungo, but sometimes all you can do is stand tall and reach deep. Red! Sorry, I said again. What will I do without you, Red? Bongo said softly. You'll be fine, my friend, I promise. We both fell quiet. At last, Bongo shook herself, feathers fluffing. In any case, maybe not the best time to be granting wishes, is my point. Seems to me this is exactly the right time, I replied. Bongo groaned her little old man groan. She knew I wasn't backing down, and with that, we began to plan. I hope you enjoyed our reading tonight, and we will pick up tomorrow with chapter 22. Take care.